Hello, and welcome to 97.9 Unity Radio, the best sports talk show in the entire world, I would say. You know, we have Worcester, Utica, Boston, Connecticut, New England, Hartford. I guess I can name it all.
It's like the whole world.
It doesn't really matter.
Right.
It just, when you're so good and you're so in demand that you can say you're the best of the best.
We're in demand?
We are hotly in demand.
Really?
Hotly in demand. Yes.
Fantastic.
Hotly in demand. Thousands upon thousands of viewers.
Fantastic.
Listeners. You're a hero. If we went to Worcester,
that's the word I would use for me is hero.
If we went to Worcester and did an autograph signing, the lines would be out the door.
Immense.
The lines would be out the door.
I could imagine.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know your popularity is gone like to the Beatles strategy.
To the Beatles, really?
Well, yeah, I mean that's your era. So.
That's my era. What are you talking about?
It's more the Beatles. No. All right. Well,
I'm an '80s guy.
You liked what's his face? Purple Rain.
That's an '80s guy. That's Prince. Prince is my guy.
Prince. Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, you got Prince popularity.
Yeah, that's right.
He transcended everything.
Yes,
he was a pop culture icon,
mm-hmm.
and that's why you loved him. You dreamed of being Prince one day.
I would gladly be Prince for a day.
So, the big news of the week, which I was completely unaware of, and I know you're a big follower of the NBA, was a trade made between the Los Angeles Lakers and Dallas Mavericks that has fans and NBA executives, coaches, kind of in a bit of an uproar. They think that the Lakers fleeced the Mavericks, pulled one over on them with what they got with Luka there, and giving up Anthony Davis. He's a little bit older. He's now the number one scorer for the Lakers. LeBron's kind of taking a back seat. But Luka, with what he averaged last year, he was right at a triple-double, averaging 34 points a game. The biggest complaints were his training, apparently, conditioning. And when you're putting up numbers like that, I don't know how you could suggest he's not in condition or not working hard, but that seemed to always be an issue from what I read in Dallas.
At some points in the seasons, he hits around 270 in weight.
Well, they said
that's a lot of weight.
They said 260.
260, 270.
He's 6'7", though. Isn't he?
In a conditioning game like basketball is. Okay, you got to think of the factor this way of the four major sports. Football is a 6-second play and you're back in the huddle. Right?
Yeah, basketball is 40 minutes.
Baseball is not a conditioning game. I don't care what anybody says.
Well, Babe Ruth ate hot dogs.
That's right. Hockey, you're skating your ass off, but it's only about a 30-second to 40-second shift.
Oh, that's not always.
And then
they don't change lines that fast.
They change lines that fast.
They change lines like after 5 minutes.
No, 5 minutes. 5 minutes, those guys would be dead on their feet.
You're telling me in hockey, if I go watch the Comets or we go to the Worcester game,
sure,
the Railroads, I can't remember the name, Rail Riders, whatever they were called, that they change shifts every minute.
Some coaches' theories are they'll change every 30 seconds. They'll change the
Worcester Railers.
They'll change. Yeah, any of those pro teams, or even college teams, high school teams, they'll change on the 30, 40 second mark. Maybe the defenders change after 40, a little longer, 45. If you go longer than 45 to a minute, that's a lot in a shift.
Wow,
that's a lot in a shift.
Okay,
and that's why there's 25 guys on the bench. There's 25 hockey players. Only 5 are on the ice. Well, 6 counting the goalie. Right. Only 5 are on the ice, skating around at one time.
Yeah.
So the lines usually go 3 deep, and if not,
I know that.
They're constantly changing up lines.
I didn't
to
know
keep
it was
guys
constantly.
fresh. Sure.
I didn't know it was 30 seconds.
Sure. 5 minutes.
It's like an NBA shot clock.
Those guys would be dead 5 minutes.
Well, they only play 3 halves. Yeah, they play less time.
Yeah, but they're skating. They're doing an immense amount of burning.
Yes.
Skating that fast back and forth.
Okay.
And it takes out a lot of energy. It takes a lot of CO2.
I didn't know you were so defensive of hockey.
Yes. But my point, again, going back to it, is basketball is the most cardio in shape sport besides soccer, I would say. Okay.
Well, that's all, and they play it the most too,
right?
I mean,
and
guys
so
are always
right,
playing.
and those, and they're up and down. You're up and down. You're up and down. You're asked to go hard and come up with creative moves on offense, and then you're asked to get in somebody's face
back on defense
and play defense. And I think those are the two things that burn the Mavericks general manager, is seeing the amount of time he's either injured or the amount of time he's out of shape. And also seeing the lack of defense that Luka plays. Luka is a sieve.
A sieve.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's how you would define him as a sieve.
Everything runs through him.
Okay.
He's not a defender. He's not a defender. He can play a little defense when he wants to.
Well, if you're scoring 34 points a game, why do you have to be a?
Because on the other end, you're giving up 40 points a game.
Oh,
so you're gonna, you know what I mean? You're down -7, -6.
They made the NBA Finals last.
They did make the NBA Finals. Totally.
And on the back of him.
On the back of him, on the back of Kyrie Irving, although Irving didn't have a great finals, on the back of some decent team chemistry. I mean,
I know they got.
Listen,
they've only won one game.
The Lakers in the long run should be successful in this trade because Luka's only 25. The guy's a franchise player for at least another 10, 12 years.
Right.
Okay. So the Lakers have their next guy. When Bron retires, here's the next guy. Okay.
Right.
Perfect. Dallas feels that they can win now.
Right.
This year.
They're both in the Western Conference, though.
That's okay. They feel with Anthony Davis, they can beat anyone in the Western Conference. And you got to realize something. Davis is not going to play center. He's not going to play the 5. He's going to play the 4. Right. So he's going to be a lot more involved in scoring.
It's going to help him out more.
Whereas, he has there are 2 centers in Dallas that are really pretty good. Yeah. So defensively, especially. So now Anthony Davis is freed up to be a little more aggressive on the boards, to be a little more aggressive in running and getting out. He's not the only guy to be counted on to play defense and to protect the rim like he was in Los Angeles. So I think it's a win-win for both sides. They did it. You
think it's a win-win for both sides?
Yeah, because you're here to win now.
Okay,
you're here to win now.
If Dallas wins the championship now. Right. That makes the trade worth it.
That's worth it. You're there to win championships. I mean, okay, so if Los Angeles doesn't win another championship in 11 years with Luka, and so let's say Luka stays there 11 more years, is it worth it?
Yeah. Right? I mean,
so you got to win now.
It's a business more than anything.
Right, but you have to win now. If you have the components, because teams don't stay together that long.
They don't anymore.
Right?
No,
contract structure. The days of like even Golden State, those guys staying together for a 5 or 6 year run, so that doesn't happen anymore.
Well, now they have the luxury tax plus a hard salary cap, which I didn't know.
Right.
That apparently started.
Right.
So you can pay the luxury tax.
You pay the luxury tax. So you can spend whatever you want to spend in the NBA.
You can't spend whatever you want to spend.
Sure you can.
No.
Why can't you? Tell me why.
They instituted a hard salary cap past a certain point of luxury tax.
Oh, past a certain point of luxury tax.
Yeah.
That I did not know. I thought there was
either.
A salary cap and then there's a luxury tax.
Yeah, there was. And then they instituted a hard salary cap for people who kept continually
spending over the salary cap.
Yeah. It gets to a certain point.
And then they want to stop it.
That's why they had to involve the other teams that they did.
Okay, I can see that. I didn't know that. I thought it was just a salary cap, and then you pay the luxury tax as far as you want to go.
That's why they had to involve Utah was one of them
in the trade there, right?
Yeah,
yep. Yeah, exactly.
Because they needed to unload. They unloaded their draft pick from just a couple years ago.
Right.
In part of the deal, that was to free up enough money, I guess.
Right.
To stay under the cap. They're still in the luxury tax, but they're under the hard cap, which I think is a great idea that they've gone that way. I think every sport should.
I would agree with that. I mean, you got at some point you got to stop it, or else it's just the teams with deep pockets are just going to keep winning all the time.
It's why I think the NFL's been so great is because of the salary cap.
Right.
It has a minimum that you have to spend.
Yeah.
And then a maximum year hard, you can't go over it.
I don't like that the salaries aren't guaranteed in the NFL.
They're becoming more and more guaranteed.
Right, but not across the board.
Well, realistically, it's impossible.
Why? Because then you can never meet your cap.
No, because you'd never be able to do training camp.
Why?
Because how many guys come to training camp? 90. They cut from 90 down to 53.
Sure.
So if every contract was guaranteed, though, those players that get cut out of the 90, which are mostly bodies, would be guaranteed a full year's salary.
Well, no, there should be a camp contract. And then if you make the team, there's the year contract.
There is.
Right.
There is. They all get paid the same during camp.
So I mean, that camp contract, what do they got to give you? If you're not a draft pick and you're coming in as a free agent, they don't give you nothing. They give you the NFL base, the 1 year base, or an extra. It's still usually a 4 year base. It should be separate though. It should be a salary for when you practice or when you try out.
Right.
If you don't make the team, you're cut, and you just get that salary for that long.
Right, and that's what happens.
$100,000, $50,000, whatever. It doesn't have to be the league minimum for the whole year.
It's $1,000 a week.
Okay,
everyone makes that in training camp.
$1,000 a week. Then, after if you don't make the team,
and well, that's it. That's the team. That's
to make team, then you're going to get stopped. Right. So, why can't they guarantee everyone's contract?
Well, that if you consider that guaranteed, then that's guaranteed.
Right.
But every rookie who comes out, signs a rookie 3 to 4 year minimum deal.
Sure.
And it's not guaranteed.
That should be guaranteed.
So you want them to...
If they get injured and they're done for their careers, they should get something out of it.
No, well, I understand that situation.
Listen, when you get a pension...
The training camp bodies...
Let's say you're a police officer. You're second year on the job and you get shot in the leg. You can't perform anymore. And now you're gone from the force. Still got to cover you with the pension.
Well, a lot of these guys get insurance. They get insurance to cover that.
They buy their own insurance.
Yeah, they buy their...
that's no good.
Willis McGahee did.
Yeah.
Willis McGahee did.
Well, of guys do. He's smart, but I mean, let's say you're a young kid and you just signed a cheap contract. You got no money to pay insurance like that.
Andrew Luck had to retire early from concussions.
Right.
There's nothing to guarantee it.
I just think stuff should be guaranteed across the board. Once you make a team and they sign you for X amount of years,
once you make a team, the contract is guaranteed.
Is the NBA guaranteed?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Major League Baseball?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Hockey, I don't know.
But you're talking a lot less players. And you're talking guys can get sent down to the minors.
Yeah, but you're probably talking a bigger budget. A baseball team salary cap.
Yeah,
a baseball team salary cap is higher than the NFL.
They pay more. Yes,
right.
Baseball pays the most.
They've got 30, 40, 50 million, and NFL does too. But they've got baseball has a lot.
Yeah, baseball pays the most.
Yes. Right. So I mean,
baseball and the NBA pay
and to me, the injury rate in baseball, or the catastrophic injury rate in baseball or in basketball or in hockey maybe is not as great as in the NFL.
No, the NFL by far.
Right. So bottom line, those are the guys that deserve the full contracts.
I agree. And that's why more and more people have been getting more guaranteed money. But there was only one person who has a fully guaranteed contract.
Who's that?
Deshaun Watson. And that pissed off everyone.
Genius. The guy's a genius. He's not going to be back this year either.
Every owner was furious that Cleveland did that. They gave him the first fully guaranteed NFL contract.
How awful is that? I mean, what garbage?
It's amazing.
Garbage is that?
It's amazing.
I mean,
I am so proud that he was able to get that done.
First off,
everything that he had going on with his life,
his agent should be, that guy's a genius.
Well, yeah, his agent negotiated it.
Genius.
But I partially blame Houston because Houston had him, you forget this, on the roster a full year. And they paid him $14 million, which was his salary at the time.
Unbelievable.
And he was part of the 53-man roster.
Unbelievable.
And he was inactive.
Right.
And they just kept it that way so they could trade and get assets for him after the season. Now it paid off. It paid off that they did it that way, but they basically kept he got $14 million They didn't want him at practice. I don't think he came to meetings. I don't think he came to the facility other than he did nothing.
That's just awful.
It is. But that's what they did. And then they made the deal after the year. Now, most teams, if they have a conscience, and are respectable, would have probably released Mr. Watson.
You think?
After some of the allegations came out.
You think?
And they didn't do that because they wanted the dreaded ROI, the return on investment.
Yeah, well, there's no return on that sucker.
No, there's no return on that.
The investment was huge, but there's no return.
Well, I mean, Cleveland ended up. It will probably go down as the worst trade all time.
It's got to be.
I mean, it's worse than the Herschel Walker trade.
It's got to be. Oh, it's got to be.
It's worse than the Saints trading every draft.
Yep. Right.
Ricky Williams.
Everybody. Yeah,
Mike Ditka gave 6 draft picks up for Ricky Williams.
Oh my God.
I wonder if that would work today. If I went to the Chiefs and I said, I'm going to give you all 7 of my draft picks for Patrick Mahomes, are you taking it?
No, they wouldn't take it.
They wouldn't take it.
They wouldn't take it. No.
Okay. No. I just thought it was funny.
Because think of it right now. Granted, it's 7 rounds in 1 year you're giving up. The odds of you finding anyone to even get remotely close to what Mahomes does and means to the team, you can't find it.
No. But I mean, Ricky Williams was running back, and Ditka wanted him.
And let's go back to this Lakers trade. That's what the Lakers did. They have their future now for the next 10, 11 years. LeBron's got maybe a couple years left. He says he wants to play a little more.
Well, and they didn't give up that much.
No, I mean
they gave up a couple second-round picks.
Yeah, no,
they gave up 2024 first-round pick Dalton Knight.
No, they didn't. Dalton Knight. No.
I'm sorry.
The Lakers gave up Anthony Davis. They gave up Max Christie.
Oh, they
okay, and a 2029 first round pick.
The guy they gave up was the 2023 number 1, their first round draft pick.
Who's that?
The Lakers.
In the Lakers pick? In the Lakers trade?
The Lakers trade, yeah.
Well, the Lakers gave up Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first round pick.
Yeah, wasn't Max Christie the 2023 first round pick?
Oh, possibly. I don't know what year he got picked and all that. Right, but Christie's not bad. Christie's not bad. No. So they got another guy to get into the rotation in the backcourt.
They said it was huge that they were able to keep him.
Right. And the Lakers got a couple throwaways. They got Maxi Kleber. Maxi Kleber is a nice little complimentary player. He's pretty good from 3-point land. I like him. He's efficient. But he's not a high flyer or high scorer. Markieff Morris has been passed around the last 3 years in this league. I think he's been involved in 4 or 5 trades in 3 years now. Yeah. So he's a throw-in.
It says that one of the losers of the trade is Max Christie. He started and scored 15 points when the Lakers beat the Knicks, and then they basically said they gave Utah time to make a trade with the Clippers to have room to add him. They said, get this done by the end of the game because we don't want him flying back to Los Angeles with us, only to fly back. We want to get him right to you guys. Right. So it's amazing how they did it, and they did it in secrecy.
They're saying he's a loser in this thing, but he's going to Dallas, which is a fairly good team. This isn't like he got traded to the scrap heap.
No,
this is a team looking to compete for the NBA championship.
No, so that's exactly
I think in the short term, I think it's a great move for Dallas. In the long term, this sets up LA for a lot of good PR. A lot of, listen, if Luka can be a star in Dallas, he can definitely be a star in LA.
Oh, I know for sure.
So, yeah, right. He could expand. He's going to expand his wealth tenfold because, think of the advertisement possibilities that are there in Los Angeles. So, that's a good move all around. It's exciting. There was another trade too. It was Fox from Sacramento got traded. It was a 3-way trade, and I think Zach LaVine went to Sacramento.
Right.
De'Aaron Fox went to where? Why am I? I'm just drawing such a blank right now. Where De'Aaron Fox went? I just saw this, so I gotta see what this is.
Well, the trade deadline is coming up.
Right, and that's why everyone says to San Antonio. That's where it was. So De'Aaron Fox ended up going to San Antonio. So now, think of that lineup.
Wow.
That San Antonio is building, whether it's a year away, 2 years away, or even, possibly they make a little bit of a run right now. You got De'Aaron Fox on San Antonio with what the hell's his name is center? I can't remember his damn name. Oh my God, I'm losing it today with basketball. This is a kid from France.
So the Mavericks got Davis, Christie in the 2029.
Yeah.
Why would they take a first round pick that far out?
They always do. They always
I
offer
know,
a year or
I
two
know,
away.
I know.
Wembanyama is who I'm thinking of. So now you've got, Victor Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox together, and they're joining a pretty good squad right now. They're not solid, but now Fox gives them some immediate scoring help.
Who are the two guys that the Lakers got? Max Kleber.
Yep.
And Markieff Morris.
I just talked about that.
Yeah.
Markieff Morris.
Are they just
Kleber
backups?
They're backups, but Kleber would come off the bench. He would start a little bit, but come off the bench for Dallas. Taller guy, defensively not bad, and he's got decent movement, not great. He's more of a forward, or he's more of a forward. He's not a true center, but he's a decent 3-point shooter. Coming off the bench for Dallas. Markieff Morris is a throw-in. I told you the last 3 years that guy's been rotated around probably in 4 or 5 trades in the NBA.
Right.
So he's always been a throw-in in a bunch of them.
Right. But I mean, like, people are like, this is major fallout. This is collusion. Like, this is corruption. Everyone, like, they're protesting in Dallas. Like, they think this was an awful decision by their general manager.
Well, listen,
it was done in secret.
It's like trading Aaron Judge. I mean, if you're a Yankees fan and all of a sudden someone trades Aaron Judge, I mean, he's the heart and soul of the team. I don't. Both sides. I don't disagree with the trade.
You don't disagree. No, you think it was a fair, fair trade?
Fair because, listen, the GM does not like Luka Doncic.
No, he does not.
He does not like him.
And Mark Cuban has no control of the team.
Mark Cuban's a minority owner. He's a minority owner now, right?
Why did he do that, by the way?
He's trying to filter everything out, and he wants to spend a little more family time. So he said he wanted to pull back on what he does.
Okay.
But bottom line,
he couldn't protect it.
The GM didn't like Luka's play.
Well,
Luka was at such a star level in Dallas that he could walk in late, do whatever he wants, doesn't have to work out.
Yeah.
Doesn't meet criteria, right?
Yeah.
So best thing to do, quietly.
Well,
Nico
so could Michael Jordan.
Pelinka and him picked up a telephone. They talked for a little bit. They met actually 2 weeks ago.
I know. It's secret.
Had a little dinner together, and probably that's where the interest sparked up from there. And they picked up a couple phone calls, threw in a third trade party, and made it happen.
I mean, it's amazing how they made it happen with the 3 teams.
Right. Yeah. So but listen, the Sacramento trade is the one that intrigues me. Okay.
Why more so than this?
Because it changes the landscape a little bit in the West.
Oh.
So now Sacramento, what Sacramento has done is De'Aaron Fox is a good player, really good player. They've traded away probably their best player. Domantas Sabonis is probably up there too as their 1 or 1A. I mean, I can't tell you how many, I don't know how many double-doubles he has during the year, but he's an unbelievable player around the hoop. But now they've added 2 former Chicago Bull players and paired them together. So now Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan, who were both on Chicago just over the last couple of years, and they've been there longer, but one by one, they've left Chicago in trades.
Right.
Now they're with Sacramento. So you're talking. So now you've got LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Domantas Sabonis
together.
That are you're talking. You got 3 high level players, scorers, guys that can do something with the basketball.
Right.
Sacramento turns into an interesting team for me. San Antonio turns into an interesting team.
What are the standings right now? Do you know?
I don't know. I've got to look. Let me look.
I know the Lakers were 4th.
Right.
So that's what I was surprised at.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that Anthony Davis had turned into their number 1.
Right.
Their number 1 scorer.
So you're looking, let's see, we're talking about the West. And why doesn't this give me the West?
This blockbuster could create more trades. Wow.
Western Conference. So Oklahoma City's in first.
Yep.
38-9.
Right.
So now the Lakers are in 5th at 28-19.
Oh, okay. They said 4th, but yeah.
The Mavericks are ninth, 26 and
so
24.
They're just outside.
Right. Now you're looking at the Kings and the Spurs. Kings are 500, 24 and 24, and the Spurs are 21 and 25.
So I see what you're saying about changing the
right. I mean, I think that bottom end trade that we're talking about, Sacramento and San Antonio,
pop up.
That may end up allowing them to catch one of those two, whether it be the Mavericks or the Lakers. So now they'll jump into playoff position.
Right.
So I think it's interesting right now. I want to see what the chemistry is. Bringing over Fox to San Antonio with Chris Paul, and then also I want to see what the chemistry is in Sacramento with now two former Bulls and Domantas Sabonis, who's really turned into an outstanding. I mean, I saw him play. I saw him play in a game when he was with Indiana earlier on in his career, and he's just really good. He's just really good. Now, I mean, he's at another level right now. He's definitely an NBA All-Star. He's definitely, I would say, a top 5 or 6 big man in the NBA.
What are your thoughts? I keep hearing about this Jimmy Butler character he's going to be he's going to be traded. Do you see that happening?
Pat Riley is a tough SOB. I don't know if Pat's going to dump him or not. They suspended him.
They did suspend.
They suspended him because he didn't show up to practice.
Oh, he just
didn't show up to practice. So
wow.
Now I think he's suspended indefinitely. I think Pat Riley will just ride it out and let him not play the whole year.
Is Jimmy Butler a upper echelon player?
Jimmy Butler is a guy who great talent. Great. I mean, he's a very good player, but regular season, he's sort of a little bit above average, slacks in some games, and then all of a sudden he turns up for a couple games. But come playoff time,
he's a superstar.
Jimmy, it's playoff Jimmy.
Yeah. So he knows.
Right. He knows when to turn it on. Right. But that right there just shows you that it's about Jimmy.
Well,
it's not about the team.
No, I disagree with you. The NBA
really
instituted a rule.
Yeah. What's the rule?
You have to play your starters.
Yeah.
Your best players on the road is otherwise notified.
You can play your guys on the road. Jimmy can play.
No, but I'm saying
but Jimmy doesn't have to play hard.
They would try to give him rest time.
Right, but that's different.
Make up injuries.
That's different. I'm talking when the mind checks out of a game.
Oh, you think he just doesn't? They have him in, and
I think he doesn't give a shit.
It easy.
He doesn't give a shit. He plays the regular season. He plays. If he's on, he's on. Cool. We're going to look good. If he's off, he just blends in with all the average guys.
Yeah, it's just an average Joe.
When the playoffs are on, Jimmy turns it on. You know what I mean?
Pat Riley does not like that.
We used to have a guy. He's a good friend of mine. I love the dude. I played in college with him. It was Blaine. His name was Blaine. I'm not going to say his last name. His name is Blaine.
Why? I didn't like practice either.
No. Well, that's just it. We used to call him Game Day Blaine.
Yeah, you turn it on game day.
Blaine on Monday would be walkthroughs. On Tuesday he'd be injured. He'd be on Red Cross.
he'd be riding the bike.
Yeah. On Wednesday he's on Green Cross. He's almost ready to go. Thursday it's a walkthrough. He's ready. Friday he's in the teeth, and Saturday's game day.
What position is he?
He was a D tackle.
Yeah, I mean they take a beating. And back then, you guys practiced so hard.
So did Joe Lyman. I rarely missed a practice.
No, I'd get shot if I missed a practice.
So yeah, but in the NBA, if someone was paying me $30 million a year, $40 million, I got to go. Yeah, I got to play.
Yeah,
I'm obligated.
Do you think that Luka coming from Europe, made a difference? Because apparently his father was also very annoyed and angry that he got traded to the Lakers.
Well, everyone's annoyed and angry because no one was advised on the trade.
They did it in secret. Yes.
Right. The ESPN analysts are pissed.
Yes, because
they didn't get any info. Didn't get the scoop. Right?
Yeah.
Ian Rappaport's pissed. Usually he's got some kind of scoop, even if it's NFL, NBA, whatever.
Well, they said that's what has prevented trades.
Craig Windhorst or whatever his name is there, the NBA guy for ESPN, he's pissed. Nobody had any information on this. That is why people are pissed.
So you think that's why?
The more open you are with something, the more opinions come out, and the more everybody wants to get their edge in. So if Luka's dad knew about the trade, he'd be like, "No, I don't know if I want my son going to LA. We don't want to do that. If we're gonna look up the contract, maybe we can pass on that. My son would rather play in Boston or whatever. I'm just throwing out.
Did you think that he would have been traded regardless at some point?
No.
No, he loved Dallas. They said that he was going to resign.
Everything was. Well, now on the other hand, does Dallas want to commit to giving him $340 million?
That's what you said
on a Supermax.
I mean, he's going to be a free agent when he's 27, I believe.
Right. I mean, listen, these NBA guys are getting close to $70 million a year. That's the next. Wow. That's the next cap level. They're in the 50s right now, and 60. They're getting close to 70.
Wow,
that's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money. That's close to. I mean, the NBA. So the NBA and MLB, they
have the greatest unions.
Must be
ever.
The top paying sports.
They have the NBA Players Association. He owns 51% of the league.
So they gave them majority.
They're actually a majority owner of the league.
Wow.
So, and again, the owners have a say, and they have a strong say, and they want to work together all the time.
Well, the owners have stopped bad trades because they thought they were unfair.
Yeah.
Because I guess the owners have to approve certain trades.
Yes.
So I get that part, but I know that they have stopped trades, which is crazy.
That would be the commissioner stopping it.
Oh, it's a commissioner that stops.
Right. The
owners complain
for the best interests or whatever, or is there some kind of a off reason besides just trading talent for talent? There's always some kind of a reason for that, but I don't. Nothing got stopped here.
No,
they were
nothing got stopped.
Full speed ahead.
No, and I think you're right. Everyone was angry because nobody knew. They kept it secret.
Nobody.
And they said they've had problems in the past where someone's agents asked about it, and he says no, or the player says no. This was just done,
right?
And nobody had a say.
And it should be that way.
Yeah, it should.
No one should have a say. If there's some kind of restriction in the contract, then yes. If the guy has a no trade clause or he's got a preferential treatment clause and you signed it and then the ink is dry, well, then that's a different story.
Or a massage clause.
There's a lot of those coming up now. Justin Tucker, boys, he's catching heat.
Oh, we'll get to that. So NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, he's been taking some heat lately for the Kansas City Chiefs.
For sleeping with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and
Brittany
and Taylor Swift.
With all of them. He's with all of them.
They were all in the bed together. That's what the meme was, right?
Oh, well, I mean, they won a record 17 one-score games in a row they've had. They think that they're getting preferential treatment from the refs. And like I have always said, I think Roger Goodell got on the bat phone and said, I don't want the Buffalo Bills are not playing in my Super Bowl.
I'm still far away from that conspiracy theory. I can't buy into it.
There's nothing.
I don't. The problem is that the officiating has to change. So they have to go to more of like what tennis does, right? You need the spot. It's 4th and 1. You need the spot. Well, you know what? They're going to bring out that white line, that computer diagram line.
You want the AI.
Where's the tip of the ball landed, and that's where we're going to mark it. Not when one guy comes out with his foot here, and the other guy comes on the other side of the field, and he's 6 inches back. I mean, you can't have that when there's that kind of money on the line on these games.
Right.
So I think that needs to change. I think more of
and they said they're going to try to do that.
Yeah, I think they need to, and I think they've got to be a little bit more. There's got to be some objectivity in penalty calls.
Well, yeah, it's got to be consistent, I think.
Well,
it's never consistent.
It's never consistent because you got too many guys calling penalties. I mean, there's 6 on the field. So bottom line, I just think that they've got to clean up the rule book. Contact after 5 yards or no contact after the first 5 yards, whatever.
Yeah, because you can call a penalty on
pass interference. I mean, if you can, 2 guys are knocking a little bit, and then somebody gets bumped off a little bit. You can't call those things. It has to be obvious.
Right.
It has to be obvious. Just like they could call holding every play if they want to call holding.
They could every play there is holding.
Right. Yes. So bottom line, they've got to come up with some kind of a clean system to at least get. I mean, think about it now with the run pass options, the RPOs.
Well, they changed the rules on that.
Right. They're giving them 2 yards.
Yeah.
They're giving them 2 yards downfield.
Well, they used to let them 5 yards.
They were open receivers. They looked like they were running routes.
No, I know they did.
So I mean,
that blew my mind.
But maybe the NFL has to outlaw RPOs.
You can't outlaw RPOs.
Why not?
If they're within the rules, if they're not going, if the linemen aren't going downfield,
then the rule should be the lineman can't go down. If downfield is after the line of scrimmage, it's after the line of scrimmage.
So you're saying 2 yards downfield is too much?
Yeah, I'm saying 1 yard's too much.
Okay.
I'm limited. Okay. 0. Now, those sideline officials that are looking at the line of scrimmage, all they got to do is look at body position. Anybody's over the line of scrimmage,
you throw the flag.
You throw the flag. It's either going to be a run play or a pass play, but it's not going to be. It can be a play action play.
Right.
Because we can play action, we can fire out into the line of scrimmage and hold and then retreat. But you can't. These RPOs are killing it. These guys are
they're very tough to defend.
Yeah, they're almost impossible to defend sometimes, but they're almost impossible for the referees to get the right call.
Right.
Oh, the guy was down. Right. Was it 2 yards or was it 4 yards? Was it 3 yards? So they're not going to throw the flag
on the line judge to watch it. Yeah. No, that was one of the. I mean, things that was very upsetting last year was the RPOs, and they tried to curtail it with the new rule.
Right.
The other thing that was interested in light of President Donald Trump's executive order to roll back DEI policies, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell faced multiple questions Monday on the league's intentions for equitable hiring.
Right.
There were a record number of minority coaches last season.
Right.
That has significantly dwindled after Gerard Mayo, he got fired, Pierce got fired, Saleh got fired. So now, they're saying that again, they're going back to retreads, the good old boy network, and not enough is being done in the NFL, which is made primarily of African-American players to get them to the next level as far as coaches, as far as executives.
Well, GMs. Is affirmative action tied into DEI?
I don't think so.
I think I don't know in that law. I don't know.
I don't believe so. I know just the Rooney Rule. You got to interview 2 head coaches.
Right. But
it doesn't say like you have to have 1 black person on your staff.
Affirmative action basically it did take care of that problem.
Yes,
I mean you had to. So
you
now
had to diversify.
If that got eliminated with DEI, that's a little bit of a problem. I mean, you got to.
Well, DEI was more forced on people,
correct,
on companies and colleges,
right? And then the letter of the law in DEI was never finite.
No.
So in other words, it kept expanding. Now this group comes in and this group comes in, and now we have created groups that come in. So that's where I think DEI blew up, and DEI was abused. DEI was abused.
Of course it was.
Right. Just like, Black Lives Matter was abused. It served a purpose. It had a relative place and a relative time.
Well, it takes on a mind of its own after a while.
Well, yeah, when the people you expect that are leading the group are filtering millions of dollars, then they loot too. And they break things. Well, that's where it got beyond. So I think that's where DEI just exploded too much and went beyond the focus of DEI, the original thought of DEI.
Right. And they're paying, colleges were paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to DEI people.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're in charge of DEI at Hudson University.
Right. Do you know that 93% of Pentagon employees didn't show up to work?
I did not.
Yes.
93%.
93% of basically the workers, federal workers, they just did not show up to work
today.
And over the last several years, probably since the last administration.
Well, who polices that?
Right, no one would.
Yeah,
right.
Just like
right now in these budgets where all this money is being sent out to all these different
I know that
groups and
it's amazing to me.
Charities and causes,
the nonprofits,
and nothing is checked. The guy at the treasury he's like an automatic stamper.
That's why I said we should open a nonprofit organization.
Yeah, right. I know,
and we'll get a lot of money.
Yes,
because they give it to you if you open a nonprofit.
Well, you got to bring in money for the nonprofit, but basically
they will.
You could name your own salary.
I know,
nonprofit, right? Yep,
and they can't do anything about it.
This show is basically a nonprofit for us, right? We're not making any money on that.
Ernie Station is nonprofit,
right? We're not making any money.
We're making millions.
Ooh.
And
millions,
millions upon millions of dollars.
Where have these doubloons been hiding?
They're fruits of our labor.
Well, the fruit is rotten. I haven't seen a hide or hair of millions.
It is. It's
really
millions upon millions.
This is unbelievable.
So, what did you think about the incentivizing it? The NFL if you hired like a GM or if you hired a certain amount of coaches,
Well, no,
you got draft picks for it.
no, you can't do that because now you're not hiring on merit.
Because
You're not hiring on merit.
Well, the Patriots interviewed Byron Leftwich, who's been out of coaching for 2 years.
Yeah.
And so their thought process was, how serious was he being considered for that job? Or was he just filling a quota by interviewing?
How many other guys are ready for that job? There's a ton of assistant coaches, African American and minority coaches and all that. But
well, we talked about Eric Bieniemy.
Right. But see, I don't think that's a color issue. I don't think it's a race issue. Eric Bieniemy. Something is wrong with Eric Bieniemy. I think either he doesn't interview well, or he has maybe some arrogance to him, or some anger issues to him, or maybe the players don't relate to him.
He wasn't well liked with your Commanders / Redskins.
Right. So I mean, maybe he's not a player's coach.
Okay.
So now, why would you want to hire a guy like that?
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, I get that.
And there's been African American coaches in the league throughout the years. I mean, more and more as of late.
There are, but I'm saying that this past year they had the most.
It's a down year,
and now they completely dropped off.
It's a down year. It's a down year in the stock market. A down year and
there's not a lot of.
I think they deserve
executives.
I think they deserve anyone that has the resume is deserving of interviews.
Right.
Anyone that has a resume that a general manager and an owner would want to hear or see deserves an interview.
The other news during Roger Goodell's little conference was the 18-game schedule. They want to go to 18 games.
They got to stop.
I just think that's too much.
They got to stop. They've got to stop the insanity. Stop the insanity. That should be the NFLPA.
Well, they want more money. The owners, like you said, I don't understand these billionaires. They just keep wanting more money.
You want more money? Sell more tickets. You want to sell more boxes. Sell more advertisements. Sell more food. Don't price a slice of pizza at $10.
Right.
You want more money if you get revenue out of the stadium. You know what I mean?
Right.
Don't charge $70 for parking. 100 for parking.
Right. That's what it turns into.
Again, you know what? In that situation, it probably doesn't matter because everyone's coming to the game. They're going to pay for parking.
Yeah.
But when you roll up tickets that are X amount of dollars, add in the parking, add in the food, add in the transportation for a family of 4 to get there, it's costing thousands of dollars for one game.
Oh, it is. You have to mortgage your house.
Who wants to do that?
Yeah.
After a while. And the owners get a television contract.
Oh,
they get money from a TV contract. So how much?
It's billions of dollars.
How much do they need to make?
Exactly.
And my thing is, you're doing it on the backs of the players. That's fine. The players are being compensated. That's fine. But that you're going to run that car into the ground.
Yeah, you're going to have more injuries.
Players can't do it. It's physically. People don't understand that.
Well, CFL plays 18 games. I think that's why.
The CFL doesn't run the ball. There's no contact.
No.
There's no contact. There's a little bit of contact.
There's some.
Not like the NFL.
No, not like the NFL.
But you have to understand something. The body. People don't understand. The average person does not understand professional athletics. They don't. They don't understand athletics. They don't understand the physical demands of the body nowadays than 40 years ago or 50 years ago.
Right.
Guys are running into each other at 20 miles an hour.
Right.
At 240, 250 pounds.
No, I know.
It's like an auto accident. And so how many auto accidents can these guys keep getting up from? And you're gonna kill these guys. You're gonna kill, and carry more players. Great. So
I think they should.
I think they do need more on the roster, but
way too small.
But you know what? If everybody keeps getting injured on the field, you're gonna have a lack of talent, a lack of quality product.
Well, that I disagree with.
I think you're gonna have a lack of quality product.
I think there's plentiful talent out there. They don't get opportunity.
There's talent out there. They don't get as much opportunity, but you're gonna have a drop off in talent.
Yeah.
If Myles Garrett is my rush end, and Myles goes down, and I got to bring in Bobby Smith from Marshall,
right?
Then we're hurting,
right? And Myles Garrett just demanded a trade.
He did. He wants to go. He's got to get out of that cesspool.
He wants to go to a contender.
That's a shithole. That
Cleveland.
Yes,
we were going to be in Cleveland.
We were going to be close to Cleveland. You're right.
You can't say that. We love Cleveland.
Listen. The organization.
Yeah. The Haslams aren't the best.
The organization is a shit show.
Well, if they gave millions of guaranteed money to
They misevaluated Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I think so.
They did.
I think so.
They did. They misused him, misevaluated him.
Well, like I said, he played hurt in 2020.
He did.
And he didn't have his best season, but I still think they went to the playoffs.
Yeah, they didn't know this.
And
did they know he was playing hurt? Sure,
yeah,
they did.
They did.
Right.
And they used that excuse to dump him anyway.
It was stupid. And
they
didn't surround him with the best weapons either.
No.
So give him some weapons.
No, but he did struggle the year or two after before he got everything under him.
Yes, I understand. It's just terrible evaluation.
It's funny. I'm fooling around on your.
On mine. Oh,
yes,
I sent you a text.
I'm like, where is it? And now I just saw your text. I thought it was a text from earlier, and now I realize.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Coach Schuman, good to see you.
I'm gonna have to eat on the pod because I had to go coach.
No, I know you did.
Great kids, but it's painful.
Do you watch the NBA at all?
A little bit here and there.
Yeah, I just wanted to get your take on we were talking your take on the Lakers trade. Did you see the Lakers and the Mavericks trade? Yep. Everyone's going ape shit over it
for Doncic.
Yeah.
So Doncic for Anthony Davis.
It was a 3-team trade.
I watched a lot on it. What I think is interesting is that there was a lot of criticism of Doncic from the Mavs.
All of it, yeah.
Because of the fact that, I guess I don't know.
He's out of condition.
Out of condition, but it seems to me
injury problems.
Yeah, it seems to be an extreme thing. A year ago, everyone was saying was the best player, and him and Jokic were the best players in the NBA, along with LeBron, right? And now they're saying. So I thought that was an odd turnaround. So I thought there must be something beyond that. And the other thing was Anthony Davis, who that marriage with him and LeBron was supposed to be this big thing. It didn't they won a championship.
They won in the bubble, in 2020 during COVID. That was it.
But I don't think it's been like
it's been a disaster ever since.
Yeah, I don't know if it's it hasn't been. They haven't meshed at least.
No.
And so, the shocking part was like that it just came out of like left field.
That's what Frank said too, because nobody knew.
Right.
None of the insiders knew. None of the other executives knew.
I said it was a great trade for both teams.
And Frank thinks it's a great trade.
I think it's a great. I think Dallas can win now.
You think it's a great trade for both teams?
Dallas can win now.
Everyone's poo-pooing.
Lakers got their guy for the next 11 years.
Everyone said the Lakers got the better.
Granted, the other 4 guys in the court better play some mean ass defense because Luka don't play it.
No, he's just
one of the 2 complaints.
No, that's the 2 complaints. He doesn't play D very well, and he doesn't really work out very well. Doesn't keep himself in good shape.
Well, he's not a body guy. He's not a body guy.
I mean, you can't be 270 running around in the league.
They said 260, not 270.
Amazing how he can still jump, though. He does jump still.
He jumps. He can dunk 6'7". He can get up a little bit 260. That's not bad.
Had he been a pro over in Europe before he came here?
He was a pro when he was 16.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, so he's been playing forever.
I think that might be a little bit part of it too, Frank. Like, he's been with the Mavs this whole time. He's obviously been their star. And maybe he's
they went to the finals last year. Yep.
Maybe he's like, I need a change to get to, a change. And these guys,
he didn't want to leave. He didn't want to leave.
I know. I'm not saying he consciously said. I don't think he came out and said, I need to be out.
The GM hates him.
Yes, the GM does.
Does it not just like dislike his play? I think the GM hates him.
Yes, the GM despises him.
That's it.
Despises him.
When he was getting that what do they call it? The highest level money. Like most of the time, they're very happy to lock up their player.
Right.
Yeah. They weren't.
No.
340 or 360, whatever it is. And they were like, I don't think we want to give it to this guy.
No, and he still has.
He's 25, scoring 34 games.
Ridiculous. Honestly, I think it's ridiculous.
Right.
He still has 2 years left on his contract.
Build some defense around him. They've got defenders around him.
Yeah.
They've got defenders around. Kyrie Irving's a good defender. Their two centers are great defenders.
And him and Kyrie had a good relationship. I mean, on the court.
Without a doubt. So I think the GM. There's a video of last year of Luka celebrating in the locker room. I don't know what game it was or what position in the season it was on, but he had a beer in his hand and he was drinking a beer in his hand. And then the GM walks by and grabs the beer right out of his hand in the locker room, and they got that on video. So I could just see, there's something going on.
Well, he's 27. He's from Europe.
Who's your GM?
It's Nico. I forget his last name. I apologize. It's
they were saying that Nico really must love Anthony Davis.
Well, I think what it is it gives him a scoring 4. So they have a scoring 1. Now this means
Nico Harrison.
Harrison, that's it. Now they have a scoring 1 in Kyrie Irving.
Right.
Now they'll have a scoring 4 with Anthony Davis, who's really, he could be a 5, he could be a 4, he could play the point if you wanted to. The guy grew up as a point guard. He handled the ball when he was young, and all of a sudden he grew to 7 feet. Wow. So so you're looking at a versatile guy that they feel fits in the right spots for them. Listen, Kyrie can be a 28 to 30 point guy. Anthony Davis can be a 28 to 30 point guy. You got 60 points right there in two guys. So I think it's a great move for Dallas, and they want to win now.
Well, since we're talking basketball, I have to ask this because this was shocking to me.
Everything's shocking to you.
Well, the trade was shocking.
Yes.
But this is even more shocking. There's an NBA gambling ring. There's a gambling ring currently under federal investigation.
Yes.
For its role in 2 NBA betting cases, and was also involved in unusual wagering activity on at least 3 men's college basketball programs this season.
Yeah.
And the 3 teams: North Carolina A&T, Mississippi Valley State, and Eastern Michigan.
Well,
those are the easiest ones to fix.
Those are the ones that are easy to fix, and easy to stay under the radar.
They're not getting the NIL money.
NIL, those guys.
Oh, okay. Because that's what I'm thinking. Like,
and they can stay under the radar. Who's looking up the Mississippi Valley State game and going, "Oh my God, I can't believe they lost by 30."
Wow. So that's why. If you're
gonna cheat, that's where you cheat.
You cheat with the underdogs.
Right.
You cheat with the crap teams.
Now, the one name that was kind of suspicious when it came out, if I'm correct, is the guard who was Miami. He was with Charlotte at the time. It was Terry Rozier.
Yes.
I mean, that guy was
Terry Rozier.
Yeah. Yes. So I mean, he's a scoring machine.
He has admitted to manipulating his performance during games for gambling purposes.
He admitted it. Yes. Really? That I didn't hear. So he admitted it?
It says right here in 2023, when he was with the Charlotte Hornets.
He was injured.
Porter had admitted to manipulating his performance for gambling.
Holy crap.
Apparently, he pled guilty to a case tied to NBA betting.
So he's not in the NBA right now. I thought he was with Miami.
No, he is. He is.
So they allow you to stay in the league if you admit and are guilty, caught gambling, caught manipulating games?
The NBA investigated and they prosecuted 4 other men. Porter acknowledged that he agreed to withdraw early from games so that co-conspirators could win bets on his performance. So he wasn't they were betting on him to put up a certain amount of numbers, points, rebounds, whatever, and he would ask out of games early.
And they let him continue to play?
They didn't know about it. This was investigated for quite a while.
And so all this is released right now?
No, this was in 2023. It came out in the summer of 2024.
And Pat Riley said, "Yeah, give me this guy."
And apparently, he's still playing, right?
How is this possible?
Yeah. He's
injured right now.
Yeah, he was a former Toronto Raptor player during the 2023-2024 season. In 2023, when he was with the Charlotte Hornets, that's when he admitted to it. So I was shocked to hear that. And then officials at North Carolina A&T, Mississippi Valley State didn't respond. Neither did Eastern Michigan. But there's a federal probe. Betting integrity monitors, I didn't know there was such a thing, flagged 2 games this season involving Eastern Michigan versus Wright State and Eastern Michigan versus Central Michigan. In both instances, sports books noticed suspicious betting activity against Eastern Michigan. In the first half, according to alerts set out by the integrity compliance firm.
Is that another word for Barstool Sports?
Yeah, Barstool.
Are those the guys monitoring the games?
They monitor betting
right.
eager for irregularity.
Right.
Veteran bookmakers and professional bettors have been tracking unusual betting activity on college basketball.
How come they don't do this with senators and House of Representatives?
I know, right? For their voting, they should track their voting.
The tracker for the stock market said that Nancy Pelosi just bought 70,000 options in Intel.
Yeah, so they're saying Porter had a gambling debt. So he had to pay it off, and he did it by manipulating his performance.
He doesn't have enough money to pay it off after a 10-year career in the NBA?
Apparently not. Apparently he had a pretty big bet, and
had to be a $30 million bet.
Either he was threatened or whatnot. I don't know, but that's what it got to. I wanted to get your thoughts on the Super Bowl. Coach Schuman, Kansas City, -1.5. They are playing the Philadelphia Eagles. It's a rematch from 2 years ago. The Chiefs have won a record 11 one-score games. So people were thinking that Roger Goodell was on the take or whatever and not making it accurate. What are your thoughts going in on the Chiefs versus the Eagles? I had predicted against the Eagles Commanders because the Eagles passing game it looked atrocious, and then Jalen Hurts obviously shoved up my ass and proved it wrong. What are your thoughts on the game itself? Who would you take? I mean, it's a 1-point spread, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's basically a pick 'em.
Yeah.
My thoughts are this: if you can't stop Barkley, I think the Chiefs are in trouble.
Barkley is the difference maker.
I didn't think Jalen Hurts was that phenomenal.
No.
What I did think was that he got the ball to guys that are playmakers on his team.
Yep. A.J. Brown, Saquon. Yep. 100% he
did. They all seem to be the best in the game. So, Barkley's the best in the game.
He's the best running back. Yep. Mahomes didn't have his typical year. Yep.
Brown seems to be the best guy right now.
AJ Brown. Yep. He's great. I agree.
Books,
Well, he was pissed he wasn't being thrown to, so he was reading a book. He was trying to better himself. Yes.
I'm good with that, man. Score touchdowns, read whatever the hell you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not bothering me. He knows his plays. What is he?
Yeah.
He need to conversate on the sideline.
I think the Eagles have a nice offense. They definitely built it around Jalen Hurts the right way to play to his strengths, and he's not afraid to run. I think his scrambling ability and pocket presence helps. But the Chiefs are the Chiefs, the 2-time defending champs. It would be the first three-peat ever, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it'd be the first three-peat ever. The Cowboys came the closest. They won 3, but they took a year off in between. But Barry Switzer even managed to win a Super Bowl.
How about that?
Yeah.
How about the talent in that roster?
But, I mean, who would you go with? Are you going with the Eagles, Dave, just because you're a homer?
I'm rooting for the Eagles. Even though I like the Chiefs. I like the Chiefs, what they represent. Andy Reid's maybe my favorite coach in the NFL.
I am so happy for Andy Reid. Yeah. I am. Listen, Andy Reid got treated like garbage in Philly.
He did.
And they dumped him. And I'm so happy that he went to KC and turned it around. And how many? I think 3-4 Super Bowls he's got now. So I would love to see that.
Yeah, I mean,
he is a phenomenal coach, to use your word.
Yes, that's true. Saquon Barkley.
Oh, he's in his FU season to the Giants. That's what I love.
The way he's run is unbelievable. The way he's running.
Yeah. He's just running angry, just running like a maniac. He can't be brought down. He leads the league in yards after contact, which is so impressive. He's a threat in the passing game.
I gotta kill my dog, I think.
No, he just has to go shit. He always has to poop. Your dog's very ornery.
I think 5 barks are for the Eagles. I think he's definitely picking the Eagles.
Frank, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, here's the thing. I think that you're right about Saquon Barkley. I think Kansas City drops their entire effort defensively into stopping that run game
and puts it on Jalen,
which I think is going to disrupt. Kansas City.
You think they're going to stop?
I think they're going to put every effort possible into lining
Saquon.
Up and go toe to toe and take over. So their schemes are going to be run defense oriented.
Steve Spagnuolo will have a great plan,
right? But I think that's going to open up with Devonta Smith and Brown. Yeah. And Hurts there. I mean, I think you're going to see I love the Eagles'
I think you
lines.
Pick your poison.
I like the Eagles' offensive and defensive lines better than Kansas City's.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Eagles. I think it's going to be a higher scoring game on things, but I'm going to say 28-24. How about that? Philadelphia.
Yeah, I think I'm going with the champs. I'm still not sold.
That's a solid pick. You can't. How can you go wrong?
I just listen. I think it's their year.
Yeah.
I think Roger Goodell's going to pick up the bat phone again. That's what he's going to do. Then Travis Kelce's going to propose to Taylor Swift after the Super Bowl.
Wow, that'd be big.
I think that's one of the prop bets.
They're saying that there's some sort of high explosives that are going to be planted in the referee's foot.
Yeah.
So bottom line, when they go to mark the spot, if it's not the correct spot, they just press a button and blow his foot up.
Well, it was funny. Dave and I were watching some of the recruits that UConn brought in on our Husky huddle.
Yeah.
And it was funny to see, we were watching the quarterback from Virginia, and there were a couple plays where there were just 6 referees standing around. We had no idea what they were doing.
Really?
Yes, it's one of the funniest videos I've ever seen.
I would just like to take a still shot of it.
It looked like it was actually Steve nailed it on the head. It was a scrimmage.
It was a scrimmage, yeah.
My guess now, if I was thinking back about it, my guess is that they probably had rotating referees and they had some people they were training, right? And these guys were all on. So this guy throws a touchdown that UConn's getting, and he throws a bomb down the field. There's 5 referees as the back judge. 5 back judges.
Yeah. Yeah. And they were all standing there.
Next to each
other.
And
nobody signaled touchdown.
No one signals touchdown. It was 2. And then I said, look at the sideline. There were 6 side judges.
Yeah. Yeah. It was amazing. Yeah. It was amazing. Yeah. And he was a top quarterback in Virginia. Quarterback in Virginia. So we got 2 Phillies. I'm going with KC. You guys all like the trade. DEI in the NFL is BS. That's pretty much the.
Tell me about DEI in the NFL before you go.
Oh, they were complaining because the NFL had a record 9 minority coaches last season, and now this year it's all down because Gerard Mayo, Antonio Pierce were fired. Somebody else was fired too. Saleh was fired too. So. Yeah, and they've tried to incentivize it by, like, if you were to hire a minority GM, you get draft picks. If you hire a minority coach, you get draft picks.
Do you really?
Yeah, you get compensated for draft. Yeah, you get compensatory draft picks.
Boy, when I'm going in for that job interview, I just throw my resume right out the window.
Italian. Frank's Italian.
Throw it right out the window. Whoa.
Right out the window.
No, you just say you're Italian. You're a minority.
Minority.
Italians are minorities.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
You don't fill out the application. There's no checkbox for Italian.
Yeah, if you're
there isn't.
right off the boat, you're an immigrant.
No.
That's all you have to say. You say,
start speaking Italian.
You know how your dad talks.
Yeah.
Talk like your dad.
That's
say
right.
you're an immigrant.
That's right. Buongiorno, sono qui per il lavoro nel suo posto nell'NFL.
They gotta hire you.
Se avete un posizione aperto che posso essere un allenatore, ti posso dare qualche pezzo di informazione.
You're hired.
Yeah, you're hired. That's right. Hired.
And you get 3 draft picks. Yeah, you get 2 free picks out of it. I can't believe you didn't know that.
No.
Oh, it's amazing.
Why would they to Rebel Republic? But if you're a migrant, and they make you the GM, you get 3 picks.
Migrant.
I guess it'll have to depend if you're legal or illegal. I don't know.
You can't show up to practice Monday through Friday because that's what
illegal gets you like 6 picks. Illegal.
I don't think they can even ask you. They can't. You can't disclose.
They just hand you a trade for like Luka Doncic. You just get like a Luka Doncic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just arrives on your team.
You gotta have ID to get into the building, for God's sakes.
And for our homers, UConn, we beat Marquette. Right, that was our big win.
Great game.
Yeah, it was a great game.
Who's been singing the praises of Solo Ball earlier than everybody? Come on, give the credit.
I know.
What do you mean Solo Ball? I'm like,
I know.
I watched a lot of the games, but
no, I've been watching them too.
He was early on before he was getting a lot of shots, but he was still scoring like 10 or whatever.
No, right. They were deferring to Caravan more. But
he hit a few of these shots in the lane that I thought were like tough shots while he was moving. And I'm like, wow, he's like a skilled shooter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he is. He is.
Hard to do. Like Frank is more of a basketball guy than me. So,
but Frank doesn't watch UConn.
Coming around the pick and you get the ball and have the presence of when to shoot it, when to pass it, and make that shot on the run. Yeah. I saw early on. I was like, wow, he's pretty skilled. So we're watching yesterday. What was the game? Yesterday or 2 days?
Saturday. It was Saturday. Yeah.
I watch a game, and early in the game, I'm like, Solo Ball's playing. They were killing him. I'm like, Solo Ball's playing really good. And then they started catching him, and he's not phenomenal on defense. He's good on defense, but not phenomenal. And so what? My damn dog. So he starts hitting the. I'm like, my father's like, that number one. He doesn't play any game. I'm like, just wait. And then all of a sudden, boom, 3-pointer. Boom. I didn't expect him to go off. Well,
Diarra, I like too. I really like Diarra.
You know what though? The only thing about Diarra, I like Diarra. The only thing that Diarra, and Joe said this, not me. I really saw he does dribble the ball around a lot.
Yes, as a point, he dribbles too much,
and without necessarily a purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I think he's looking for space or looking for an opening when he's doing it.
Yeah,
but sometimes that it causes a turnover because a guy comes up and plays him.
Exactly. Yeah,
and he like makes a bad decision. But overall, I think he's explosive. He's
I think
Marbury to me, like a Marbury point guard, scoring kind of point guard. But Ball, I'm telling you, that guy to me, if he's shooting like that, he's gonna be.
I think he'll be great. I think that this time that they've played without McNeely is going to make them better.
Oh, no doubt.
Because now when McNeely comes back, they'll have a well-oiled machine, and they can run through the Big East tournament, possibly win it. They may not be able to catch and win the Big East outright before the season, before the season ends. But I think they can win the tournament, and then when they go to the tournament, they'll be seasoned. But nobody expected him to be out this long.
No, I think he's still going to be out for another week or so.
High ankle sprains are very, very tough. I mean, it takes forever to heal on their own. So I just hope they get him back and can get ranked in the top 5 for the tournament. That's my concern for the NCAA. I hope they do well in the Big East and go far. And then if they get ranked in the top 5, they won it from number 5 2 years ago. So they can do it again.
I think they're gonna. I don't think it matters where they are.
No,
I really
no.
As long as they have all their guys, they're good enough to win.
And then the women is just staying healthy. It's just staying healthy for them. But
staying healthy absolutely is. I got chaos going on over here.
That's all right. We're signing off.
Is that your dog's name, Chaos?
No.
He just left.
He ran away. I hope he shit somewhere. Is he going to get into more ink? Is he going to get into more ink?
Dude, he had Frank, this is funny. There's never ending funny stories with all of us, I guess. But the dog goes, and my wife comes downstairs and she goes, "The dog's bleeding." What did he do down here? He's got red. He's bleeding all over his arm.
He's bloodied.
I said, "He's not bleeding." I said, "He got into the HP ink and it's all, and it was obviously on the floor."
Yeah, that's great.
I had just taken it away. I looked over. I'm like, "What is all this red?" And he got it. Somehow he went into my back closet, found the ink. I don't know how dogs do this stuff.
They're resourceful.
He's back. He found the worst thing he could find.
I think he was just filling out his resume for an NFL job application.
Yeah, DEI.
He's a minority.
He's a DEI.
He's a minority.
He would be a minority. Imagine that. Yes, I. You know what? Sorry, my dog does not use a signature, but he does make his mark.
Yes. And he identifies differently, so I think that'll work.
He identifies as a human.
So we'll have Rebel Republic next. Don't go anywhere. And for the coach, Dave Schuman, and the self-proclaimed voice of reason.
I've been given that moniker by more than one person.
Frank Cristiano. I'm Steve Cully, the best podcast host in the universe on 97.9 Unity Radio. Remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges, throw them back at life or DEI.